Right, Matthew, good morning, sir.
How we doing?
For doing fat burnouts. Engine number 2, 3? Number 2. For latest purchase. Champagne gold.
Every nut and bolt was loose. We spent 9 hours in one day literally going through the whole car.
Side exit, oval exhaust. 1.7 tons of sideways machine. It sounds so good, man.
When this come up, I was just like, it's worth a punch.
Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and today I'm going to meet up with my friend Matthew. Now Matthew is the West London Classic Ford events coordinator and we've seen him loads of times on the channel with his COSWORTH V6 powered Mk3 Cortina Estate. So I'm looking forward to getting a closer look at that car, but Matthew's also recently bought another really cool old school Ford. Right, Matthew, good morning, sir.
How we doing?
Thanks for inviting us round.
No problem.
Now, it's fair to say this has been a video that's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to have a closer look at this thing and, you know, let you tell us the story of it. But you've actually bought something else really interesting very recently. So check out this awesome pair of classic Fords. All right, so this is Matthew's 1973 Mk3 Cortina Estate that we've seen plenty of times on the channel before. It does, of course, have a Cossie V6 lump in the bay, and you can see that they've put a scoop in the bonnet so that the trumpets can poke through from the ITBs. We will have a look in the engine bay in a minute. This was a 1600 originally, right?
Yeah, 1600L, crossflow, 711M lump.
Yeah.
So yeah, standard as it comes. But now it's a completely different car to what it was then.
Yeah, it's actually mad to think that this big thing came with a 1600 crossflow originally. But yeah, now it's an absolute beast with the Cossie V6 in the bay. It's sitting on a set of 15-inch mini light rims, which I think really suit the car. Really nice stance as well. Loving the 2900 made up badge that Matt's put on here to represent the 2.9 litre V6 in it, of course. Plenty of chrome around this thing. Loving the bullet mirrors. Yeah, loads of chrome around the windows. And yeah, with this being an estate, it is an absolute beast. But loving the bright red paintwork on it. It's fair to say that you like to keep it polished.
Of course, old Fords, you've got to keep them looking nice.
And yeah, massive thanks for rocking the MH decal. And you've had your own stickers made up as well. Really cool. This is a really nice touch. Sort of original dealer sticker, but it's Inky's Autos, where we'll actually be going a bit later on. Awesome thing. I can see the Simpson stainless exhaust poking out there. Full Simpson system and
Full
manifold.
Simpson system from headers back, yep.
Yeah, let's have a look in the interior because it's quite original-ish in there, which is always nice to see. It's got some sort of aftermarket gauges and a different steering wheel, but you know, for the most part, it is how it would have been originally. Loving this wooden gear knob.
Yeah, that's a standard gear knob from Mk1 Cortina.
This is an addition that Matt likes to use regularly, the line lock for doing fat burnouts. And CB radio.
As part of the club, West London Classic Fords, we've all got CBs, so we can all talk to each other when we're cruising down the motorways.
Yeah, cool.
Saves the police telling us off with our mobiles.
I will, of course, leave all the links in the description to the West London Classic Ford. I can see you've got some 619s in the parcel shelf and stuff.
Yeah, I tried to go old school with the sound system. Got a Kenwood head unit like we used to have with the Kenwood 6x9s, a nice amp with just a 13-inch sub, nice bit of tunage like we used to have when we was younger.
Plenty of originality in this thing, but also plenty of modern touches. Oh, and the handbrake is hydro. Didn't even notice that because you've still got the like original gator on it and all that. Anyway, let's have a look at the heart of the beast. And there it is, 2.9 litre Cossie V6 running on individual Gen V throttle bodies. I absolutely love the fact that you've got 6 trumpets poking up. Obviously got the bonnet scoop there for clearance. And this engine completely stock internally, is it? Or?
Yeah, so the only thing was changed on it is the injectors. Instead of running the standard injectors, we're running V8 supercharged Jag. They're exactly the same fitment, but they give out a lot more CC and fueling, so it gives it a bit more of a kick. When you do this conversion, yeah, the standard injectors, it doesn't run right on them, so you have to upgrade them. Apart from that, the engines are stock.
Yeah.
We don't do nothing to change them internal because they're built to last. So.
And this is engine number 2, 3?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, the first one, when I first done this conversion, we built an engine and it was fine, but I didn't have it set up on the rolling road. So I basically washed piston 2 out before, it was just over fueling too much on piston 2. Shattered the piston, as we know, at Box Hill, that meet.
Oh no.
The week before that meet, it actually got tuned. So Chris Todd said, because you've put all that extra power now into it, the weak points are going to give. And he was listening to the engine and he had some rattles in it. And he said, I don't know how long it's going to last. It lasted that day on that meet. But yeah, that come out when I bought a new one the next day. Within 48 hours, there you go, it's back to normal.
Massive shout out to Chris Todd, who does the tuning on Matthew's cars, but also mine. And yeah, I actually thought that Matthew had blown this engine when we went to the Ford Power Live show recently.
The oil was too thin. I put an additive into the oil for hydraulic tappet noise, and I didn't change the oil in time. And I lost oil pressure because it was so thin, and it was getting out of loads of little holes which it doesn't normally come through. And the spark plug chamber was all filled up with oil. So on the day we cleaned them all out, put a brand new set of plugs in it. It was absolutely fun.
I love the fact that you've colour-coded the rocker covers. I love how cool it looks to have 6 individual throttle bodies poking out the top, and I absolutely love how this thing sounds. Right, if I poke the camera down here, you can just about see the Simpson stainless header. It's obviously very tight with this being a V6 lump, and it's got a really cool alloy rad over here, but that was a little bit of hassle to fit.
Yeah, because of the clearance between the engine, it was the rad wasn't going into where it should have just sat. So one of the boys in the West London club had done a fabrication for me and cut it into the slam panel. So it is now sitting away from the engine and got a nice clearance.
Yeah.
With an electric fan on the front.
Oh, really cool. But yeah, I absolutely love this conversion. Really neat install. And you're saying there's probably not another one out there?
No, so there's lots of Mark III with BOBs, but they've got all the standard plenums on them and as they sit. I saw this conversion on YouTube from a Swedish company who actually done it in a Mark IV Cortina Estate. I sort of followed their lead. So I'd looked into it and seen what was needed, and voila. But as far as I know, there's not another one of these setups in this country in this Cortina with the Gen Vs on it.
Yeah, awesome setup. Obviously it's tight, but you know, that's solved by Simpson with the custom headers, and obviously you need to cut a hole in your bonnet, but other than that, it goes in there. Right, now despite the fact that I've known Matthew for quite a while, I've never actually been for a spin in this Cortina, so I'm really looking forward to getting a passenger ride in it. But before that, let's go and have a look at your latest purchase.
Let's go.
All right, so this is Matthew's recently purchased 1982 Mk1 Fiesta. You said you bought this on the 1st of September.
1st of September.
So you've had it less than a month.
Well, a month tomorrow, basically.
Yeah, cool. As you can see, it's finished in champagne gold, and it's sitting on a set of mini light wheels. You was telling me that these are made by a company called Two Gates, and they are the Group 4 fitment rims. Now you can see that this thing's got a fiberglass bonnet with some vents on it. We will have a look in the engine bay in a minute, but yeah, this thing was actually built to be a bit of a hot rod by the previous owner, and Matthew bought it and decided to put it on the road. As you can see, it's got a roll cage in there. You can see it's got some different rear suspension turrets, shall we say. All will be explained in a minute. But yeah, aftermarket steering wheel. You'll see that it's got quite a big gearbox tunnel. All be explained in a minute. Plenty of gauges on the dash. You can see it's got a Omex ECU running the engine. Kill switch there, very race car. And yeah, this pair of really cool low back seats with some Seatbelt harnesses. So yeah, very, very race car, this thing. From the back, it kind of looks like your average Mk1 Fiesta, apart from the fact you can see the cage through the rear screen. Still badged up as a 1.1 GL. Is that what it would have been originally?
It's a standard 1.1 GL,
yeah.
Champagne gold,
yeah.
Off the factory, yeah.
Really cool. I love Mark 1 and Mark 2 Fiestas. I'm seriously considering getting another Mark 1 Fiesta myself. It certainly won't be anything quite as special as this. Let's have a look in the engine bay. And there it is. A rear-wheel drive Zetec setup running on side draft Webers. This car has also been treated to a Simpson stainless exhaust manifold and system, and this literally got fitted the other day.
Yeah, I got it back yesterday from Simpsons.
Yeah.
So it's still brand spanking new.
Yeah, really cool. It's got the different turrets, because this is Mark II Escort front suspension, is it?
The whole car's built on a Mark II RS2000 running gear.
Yeah.
So it's all fully adjustable everywhere.
Yeah. You can see down there, it looks like it's got like a World Cup cross member. Really cool alloy rad with twin fans on it.
When I bought it, it had a massive big rad in it. It didn't work. So yeah, just went online and they made that for me. Come with the 7-inch fans as well, 2 of them. So it's got 160 watt of fan power, sucking it through the rad as well, just to keep it nice and cool. Now it stays at 60 just because of that setup. So
cool. So apart from the rad and the exhaust system, this is how you bought it, right?
It was, yeah, everything else you see on it. The 48s, what are on there, they've been played with as well.
Yeah.
Fuel regulator and stuff like that. I've just had to finish it.
Yeah.
It was an unfinished project. I mean, every nut and bolt was loose. We spent 9 hours in one day literally going through the whole car to get it to where it is now. But now she's MOT, taxed and insured and on the road. So.
Yeah. And this also got sent to Chris Todd at CT Tuning to get set up recently. You actually had to take it twice.
Yeah, because of 48s, they come standard with 42mm chokes in them. And drivability-wise, between second and fifth, it was just unbearable to drive. It was just low power, and then you put your foot down, and then all of a sudden it was massive power. So Chris, being Chris, the magician that he is when it comes to carb tuning, he said that I need to change the chokes, so we put 36mm chokes in it. Went to Webers Direct, spoke to Martin there. He said, like, this is the best thing to do. We come down 9 horsepower on the rolling road with the 36mm, but the drivability is amazing. Now there's no sluggishness or nothing now. It's power all the time.
Peak power isn't the whole story, you know what I mean? You lost 9 horsepower at the top, but you've gained more usable power throughout the rev range. So in real terms, it's still a quicker car.
Yeah.
You know, with the second tune, like,
yeah,
because this thing was built as a hot rod. They wouldn't have cared about drivability.
No. Second gear flat out, that's all they need.
Yeah.
So that's the setup.
Nah, it's really cool that you was able to retain the 48s on, is it a stock engine, the Zetec? Or?
Yeah, if it's a hot rod, sometimes they build them as cheater engines, but otherwise they have to keep them standard.
Right.
And they just run a normal 3-litre carb on them, on a manifold, with that little ECU for the ignition.
Yeah.
But yeah, by having 48s on it, it's obviously different.
But yeah, I actually haven't heard this thing run yet. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But before that, let me just show you the rear axle setup. So yeah, as you can see, it's got a shortened English axle. It does have this panhard rod, which actually you were saying you took it down to Inkies and you welded up the rose joints on that, right?
Yeah, it was the biggest rattle in the car, so we just took it off and welded it up, and that just took that rattle away.
Yeah.
There was no need for it. And the standard Mark 1 Fiesta panhard rod has just got bushes in it. There's no rose joints.
Yeah. So. Yeah, as you can see, it's a linked rear axle. You can see the links going forward to the chassis there. And we can see Matthew's very tasty stainless Simpson exhaust, which actually pokes out of the side. How cool is a rear-wheel drive Fiesta? And there is the side exit, oval exhaust, and it's got a cheeky Simpson badge on the side of it as well.
I wanted it originally coming out of the actual filler cap.
Oh, really?
That was my plan, because internally the filler cap goes down and underneath the old back seats.
Yeah.
And I wanted the exhaust to manipulate that and come out of there. But a few people had to change my mind on that, because obviously being a tuned motor, we know they get black sooty stuff coming out, and if you park someone's car next to it, you started up their exhaust, they're getting covered in it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it was a heat transfer problem from the inside from that last bit of the tailpipe. So I changed my mind when I was there, and we just had it coming out, but it still looks cool where it is.
Yeah, no, it does, man. No, it looks awesome. All right, while we're around this side, Let's have a proper look at this tunnel. Absolute monster. This has got a Type 9 gearbox in it, you're saying, right?
Yeah, it's a Trans X Type 9 5-speed straight cut.
But you're swapping it for a non-straight cut.
Yeah, it's just too noisy on the motorway, and you just don't need it for the road, you know?
Yeah. And you've got a cheeky navigator's footrest down there as well.
Well, that is actually for the exhaust manifold where it comes four into one to come through.
Right.
Under the car.
Right.
So if you put your foot on there when you're driving along, it's very hot.
Right, okay. And yeah, there's the Omex ECU and stuff. Now, it doesn't have a handbrake fitted at the moment, and that's because Matthew's been trying to suss out the hydro handbrake that he wants. So this was the handbrake that came in the car, but it wasn't connected to anything, right?
Yeah.
And you've been trying to basically suss out a hydro handbrake, but this doesn't work as this is, right?
Nah, at the minute when you're lifting the handbrake, you're actually pulling the piston away from it, so it should be pushing it in. So when we did it in the Cortina, you lift the handbrake, it pushes the piston into the cylinder, which obviously creates the braking. Yeah, so at the minute. But I borrowed this off of Danny at Inky Autos. This is a proper race one, and it shows how the arm actually pushes in the piston.
Yeah.
So out of this, I've got to make it and drill holes or whatnot to make that onto there, so it does actually work when you push it in.
Yeah.
I think it's going to end up being very high to start with, and then when you pull it in, it'll be literally straight. I'm not too sure yet. We haven't actually got that far yet.
But you don't want a drifty style one?
Nah, not really. If I was going to have something like this, I'd only have it to that level.
All right.
I wouldn't have it all the way up there.
All right, yeah.
So that might actually be the case, but by using that, you know, have some brackets made so that's standing up, so that's a handbrake. Yeah, so there isn't no ratchets on these at all. So you know, once the handbrake's applied, you've got to put a pin through and stuff anyway. So I don't know. I don't want to go cables. So we'll just have to carry on and try and figure it out.
But yeah, being a rear-wheel drive Fiesta, it has to have a hydro handbrake, right?
Of course. Little flick of that. Well, there she goes.
What diff has it got in it?
I think it's a 375 Salisbury plated.
All right.
So it's a proper different. It's nice.
Yeah.
It does go well. Goes round in circles. Quite good.
Ah, cool. And we're going for a spin in this, right?
Of course.
Which I'm very much looking forward to. But first, let's go for a ride in the Cortina, yeah?
Let's do it.
I'm loving it already. The noise this thing makes. But I've only ever heard that you flying past me on the motorway on the way to a meet. Like, tell me the story of this car, Matt. Did you like restore this, or?
Nah, so 4 years ago, I turned 40, so I decided that I wanted a classic, and then I was deciding which classic to get. And being a racer back in the day, estate Cortinas were always my favourite cars to race.
Right.
But they were mostly Mark 4s, Mark 5s back then. But I just loved the shape of Mark 3s. So I decided myself, that's it, I'm going to buy a Mark 3 Estate. Had a look around. This car actually lived in Guildford in Surrey, near my house, not that far from me, for many, many years. And then it ended up in Scotland with a well-known Mark 3 restorer,
Right.
who I bought it from, George Duff. So when he had it, he actually done a spray job on it and put a new vinyl roof on it, but left it as standard as it is. But it was still like a standard Miss Daisy car, you know.
Yeah.
Like, when I got it, the intention was to keep it stock, which I have done as much as I can to keep it stock. But I never wanted to change the engine. I'm just going to lower it with a set of wheels on it and make it a little sleeper.
That's what we all say, isn't it?
That didn't happen. Within 6 months, it had a 2-litre Pinto in it, and you know, back axle was rebuilt, and yeah, loads have been done. But yeah, over the period of time since I've had it, it's been on and off the road, and it's been built from basically now from scratch. All the running gear's brand new. It's all been stripped, sandblasted, polybushed, all rebuilt. It's got disc conversion all round now, running high spec calipers. The rear disc conversion is off of a Mark 4 RS Turbo Escort.
Okay.
Just loads and loads of little bits that I've done over it, and since I put this engine in it, now this engine is, obviously I've had to strengthen a few areas and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just a cool sleeper. It's a one-of-a-kind car. Don't see him, do you?
Nah, that's it. Nah, that's it. Oh yeah, this lump's controlled by Emerald ECU, right?
Yeah, Emerald standalone. They set it up in the factory and then they send it out to you with a base map of of the standard BOB engine, and then it's down to you to get it all tuned up and get it where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But Emerald themselves, Dave at Emerald, he's a wealth of knowledge. Like when I was building it, there was things I never knew nothing about engine management, you know. So get him on the phone, he'd help you through. Like my crankshaft sensor, for a week nearly, I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't start, and it was all down to just the wires being around the wrong way.
Oh, right.
You know, but him just ringing that phone, making that phone call, and him telling me that it helped.
Yeah.
So yeah, Emerald is a good company to go back to as the customer care sort of thing, you know, always there. I'm used to carburetors, you know, and stuff like that, and this is the first ever injection engine that I've ever built. Like built in the car, you know.
Yeah. But ultimately, whatever you take to Chris Todd, he'll be able to sort it out.
Definitely, the man's a magician. Yeah, 264 we got out of this. That was out of the engine what blew up as well. So this has never been back on the roller, but that map is on it.
Yeah.
And this is a strong engine, so it might actually be doing more power, I don't know.
Yeah.
When we used the bangers, we used to put the 2.3s in. They were the preferred engine. 2.8s were good engines, but the 2.3s did a lot more room around them. Right. And even just out of one of them in an empty shell, you get some good power out of them.
Yeah.
You know? But the banger boys don't like these engines. That's why there's so many of them about. They like the Cologne engine.
Yeah.
They like them.
That's the one that was in like the Capris and all that, isn't it?
Yeah. Granada, Mark II Granadas and the Cortinas, Mark 5s.
This one's got a Type 9 in it as well, you were saying, yeah?
Yeah, this Type 9 in here, it was built by a man I know, and he's put Mustang bearings in it. And before I changed the diff to a 4.1, I had 378 in there, and he made the gearing a lot easier for it to run with this engine. So yeah, it was purpose made for the V6, but then all of a sudden I decided to put a 4.1 diff in it, and now it don't work as good as it should.
Right. Yeah, diff ratios are a compromise, man.
Yeah.
Is this Mexico?
This is, Mexico.
Mate, how'd you throw it round like that when it's so big? Oh my God. 1.7 tons of sideways machine.
And a lot of smoke.
You've already done about 20 quid in tyres there. What a beast.
Yeah. His second gear loves a burnout in seconds.
Yeah.
Loves it. And it smokes the... Oh yeah, loves it. Just a good little burnout machine, really. And that's what I'm all about now. Like, obviously like driving cars around, but it just brings back my youth and just messing about and having a car which you've built yourself, and you know that you can just take it somewhere and do that to it.
Yeah. It's harmless fun, isn't it?
I built it for that reason. Yeah, I didn't just get a classic just to polish it in the garage and mess about with it. I'm a driver, I like it. It's all good fun.
So what LSD's this got in it?
It's got a black line helicoil,
Yeah. It sounds so good, man. Well, what an absolute riot that was. But now, Matt's gone to get the Fiesta. Take that for a spin. Well, this is my first time in the rear-wheel drive Fiesta. Oh wow, that gearbox is loud. Sounds like it's in reverse.
Yeah, always. Constantly.
So why a rear-wheel drive Fiesta?
Why not a rear-wheel drive Fiesta? How many? There's not many out, but to be fair, now I've joined a Facebook group. There is quite a few, especially some in production as well.
Yeah.
But as we know, Kev in our group, that yellow one he's got is just a machine. And when this come up, I was just like, it's worth a punt just to have a go.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the lookout for another car. I just went and saw the man who owned this and dropped something off to him, and he had it there, and we just ended up having a deal. So now I own it, So sideways. It's a crazy little thing.
Yeah, it's nuts. I like the sound of the gearbox, but it would get annoying.
Oh, in fifth gear is horrendously loud. You can't talk at all. It's going to be loud anyway with the exhaust being empty, you know, like any stripped out car. But yeah, I think just because it's going to be on the road a lot, I think we just need to put a normal Type 9 in it.
Yeah.
We'll still do exactly the same thing.
No, that's it. I'll tell you what, the exhaust sounds lovely as well, man.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's got a nice note.
One silencer in it, and it's fine.
Yeah. They know how to build silencers and Simpsons as well.
Yeah.
So.
But with a car with twin 48s on it, you still want to be able to hear them as well, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
it's an event, this thing, isn't it?
Good fun. Smoke everywhere you go, isn't it?
With you buying it pretty much like this, that you ain't got no history with the car, but what's the plans for the future?
Okay, so maybe this year, or maybe beginning of the new year. I've already designed the interior. In the garage, I've got a new plastic dash, because you can see this one's been cut out.
Yeah.
I want it to go back stock. I don't know whether to keep these bucket seats, or I found new ones with the same size but with headrests.
Yeah.
But I'm going to a company called 13 Stitches, which are down in Kent. Their work is unbelievable for upholstery. So we've already had the conversation. So I'm going to have a brown dash, brown cowling, dark brown handles, all that sort of thing. Roll cage is going to be sprayed the same colour as the dash.
All right, brown cage.
Yeah. It's going to have a dark chocolate brown carpet, and then the seats are going to be like a tan leather with a beige suede insert.
All right.
Diamond or straight stitching, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my plan. And then exterior wise, it's going back to champagne gold, complete respray.
Yeah.
With the pinstripes, the original pinstriping, which are on it now.
Yeah.
Just a proper nice sleeper, but with the interior completely done. Anything behind the roll cage, it's just going to be a race car.
All right.
Yeah. The fuel cell might get changed to something different. I don't know yet, but
yeah,
that's the plan. And once it's at that stage, I don't know whether I'm going to keep it or I'm going to sell it. But I feel like I need to, now I've got it, I feel like because I'm doing the work too, I think I need to finish it as a car.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So, yeah, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes.
And have a load of fun in the meantime.
Load of fun in the meantime.
Very different sound than the Cortina.
Just a little bit. It still makes a good noise though.
Yeah, they both sound awesome in their own right, man. Love it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with your pair as well, like it's all right having them both. They're both very, very different. Do you know what I mean?
Diversity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting the Cortina nice and relaxed and chill out and go for a nice cruise out with the boys. Jump in this, have some proper major fun in it, you know?
They're both fun, but they're both very different. Like,
yeah, I don't like doing that to the Cortina all the time, though.
Yeah, you do.
Right, so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed having a close look at Matt's two beasts. Got to send a massive thanks to Matt, if you're watching, for inviting me down to have a look at your cars. And I'm sure we're going to see way more of both Matt's Cortina and his Fiesta on the channel as I go out to the West London Classic Ford meets in future. So if you thought this video was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe if you're new. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram. Check out my website for merch and parts. Massive thanks to my patrons for your ongoing support. I'll leave all the links to everything in the description as usual, along with my email address for anyone who wants to contact me. But other than that, until next time, thanks for watching.